Hey guys, alrighty, so we had some data this morning. Remember, we were waiting for the non-farm data to come out. We were waiting for unemployment rate to come out. We got all of that. So unemployment rate did go up just a little bit, so 4.6% over 4.5% last month. It's interesting because, as you see, if you look at 8:30 candle there, we had a big, relatively speaking, pop on that, but it got all retraced. So the question is, does the market care? In general speaking, the market is looking for rate cuts, I believe. And I believe they are looking for more of, the dovish Fed. And a weaker economy does give the room for the Fed to cut more. But at the same time, it affects other things. So, interesting here to see where we go today. As of now, let me get these moved so you guys can kind of see here a little bit better. As of right now, pre-market, we would say 68.51 to 68.65 and 68.77 to really, we'll call it 6900. That's pretty much our 15-minute range on ES. Over here on NQ, we have 25.182 to 25.248. And then we got 25.311 to 25.420. Now, when I move over to the daily time frame here, ES is a little bit more difficult. We are currently sitting right on the daily 8 EMA support, so that's exactly basically 68.65. We overnight touched 20 EMA support, which is 68.36, and had a pretty good bounce. So that's kind of my level to the downside I'm watching is 68.36. If we start pushing lower, if we clear 68.25, I would think this downside move could get pretty aggressive. And then to the upside here, we would say 6,900 is our key resistance and key rejection level there. But if I look at the daily on ES specifically, with the doji rejection off of 69.25 or really 28 supply area, and that we really didn't break 6,900 on the daily, that would really be a good indication that we should go lower. VIX is green, just barely. But again, that sort of gives us some downside favor. Now, when I look at NQ, we have a little bit more easier levels, I would say. 25.400 is the 20 EMA resistance, and the 8 EMA resistance is sitting right at 25.454 area. So again, we came up on data, touched and hard rejected. We really didn't even get all the way to 25.400, but we rejected. Overnight, we did attempt to break through and hold under 25.200, which is 50 EMA support. And as you can see, we did break the previous, or 2 days ago's low, which generally says that we should continue lower. So after this pop here that got sold off, I do have favor for some downside this morning. But again, we'll play it how it lies. I would like to see VX and VIX actually be in an uptrend. That's kind of been the hard thing lately, is that VX and VIX, I don't want to say they're lagging, but they're being held lower than the sellers and everything else is kind of giving us. So yesterday, for example, we started pushing lower, but really VX and VIX didn't start pushing up for quite a while. So, and if you look at the daily time frame, we are in a good rejection area actually on VIX and VX, and we're really pretty flat for the last 3 to 4 days. So it's kind of difficult because VIX is not really being unleashed, to so to say. It's kind of really being held down. So I'm curious to see if and when that breaks out or doesn't break out. So Thursday is CPI. That's the next big data kind of watch. Now with this jobs report here, I wonder if we will see some downside into that report or not, or if we're going to pop. So we are under 68.65 and 25.248. Again, 68.51 and 25.182 is our support to watch. So again, 68.77 and 25.311, that is resistance to watch. So VX and VIX are at their EMA resistance, which gives a more odds of rejection. Again, general theme for the day for me as of now is downside, but I'm happy to play upside. You know, with the big wicks off of daily 20 EMA and daily 50 EMA support, we could find support here and we could pop really hard back to yesterday's high. So, you know, just kind of see where we take us here. Definitely try to little, you know, lightly and just kind of see where we go here. I'm still a little sick. I'm getting better, so if you hear me congested, I apologize. We do have more data at 9:45, I believe. Let me double check here. Yeah, 9:45 we have PMI, so expect some movement on that also. No real buyers coming in here. They are there, I should say, but they're again at like a pre-market level, which just means they're not very strong. And actually, if you look over at VX and VIX, they're actually starting to push up a little bit. So again, that sort of sets up a rejection here. I will be interested to see where this 5-minute candle closes. If we maybe close under 68.77 and 25.311, we might have a nice 5-minute double top back down that we could play. But overall, again, watching VX and VIX go up, I'm definitely interested here to see if we're going to get a big rejection. They might not even make us wait for the end of this 5-minute candle. They might just wick this all the way back down here. Because VX and VIX, they're really starting to push here. Kind of the first time here in the last, I'd say, week or so that we're seeing VX and VIX lead the move here. So again, usually we're seeing the downside come on the candle price action, and that's followed then later by the VX and VIX kind of confirming it. So we're actually seeing the opposite now, where we're almost getting a little bit of divergence, but I do think it's going to lead to a pretty big rejection here. Again, I'd really like to see the 5-minute candle close if I can first, but it looks like they're going to sell this whole wick back down. NQ is a little stronger than ES, I will say, but still rejecting. So I think this is going to be that good 5-minute double top play here. We should see a rejection off 25.311. If the 5-minute closes over 25.311, I would not take the short. But we're establishing our 5-minute ORB range right now. So again, with VX and VIX pushing up, really just pre-market level buyers here on 5-minute, 15-minute. There's really nothing on NQ at least. It's a good rejection spot here. See if we go touch 25.311 first before the rejection. That would give me a little bit more confidence of a short here. We might not go all the way up there. They might just double top it, but the play really does justify waiting for the touch of 25,311. Okay, there's the double top showing itself. VX and VIX are still going. ES is showing its double top. ES looks weaker for sure, but all right, I'm gonna take it.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, we are short. Well, one account is short. I don't know why nobody else got in, unfortunately. Let's see if they'll come back for us.
Order filled.
Okay, now everybody's in. Of course, that are going to pop back up now.
Stop filled.
All right, unfortunately, got stopped out on that one. That was a terrible fill, though. Well, I got not great fill there on the exit. Anyways, so this is interesting kind of divergence here. So now, this is interesting because obviously, like I said, we were setting up with VX and VIX leading the downside, a pretty nice rejection. But now we are actually setting up a breakout here. So it could just be a big, nasty wick to the upside, a big old stop loss hunt before we push lower. But I am seeing a decent amount of 5-minute buyers here now. But VX and VIX are still pushing up. So it's kind of tough. This is one of those price actions where we might see some wacky movement for 30, 45 minutes before they kind of settle it down. So yeah, this divergence is not what you like to see, that's for sure. ES is still showing the weakness though. As you can see, it's rejecting its 5-minute 20 EMA and 50-minute. Also rejecting its 15-minute 5 and 20 EMA too. So again, ES is showing the downside. NQ is the one that you got to be careful because it's kind of trying to show that it's actually going to break out. But we obviously are touching overnight range resistance, so that is a good rejection area. But with these buyers, it's tough to justify a short as of right now on NQ. Also, especially hard to trust a long on NQ with VX and VIX pushing up. So definitely a good spot here to sit sort of cash. ES going double top now, bringing it down. VX and VIX are still pushing up. See where this 5-minute candle closes here on NQ. The next candle might be a good short opportunity here, but we'll just kind of see. Yeah, good point. There is PMI data in about 5 minutes here, so that's also something we got to keep in mind. We are under ORB resistance, as you can see right here in the 5-minute, so that is a good rejection spot right here to come back down into this area. But again, I'm seeing those 5-minute buyers, so it's kind of difficult to trust it. And we're really just kind of pushing. And you see we pushed through the previous high here. So tough spot here to justify the short, even though it does look good. VX and VIX are still pushing though. ES looking weak. So it looks like this is going to be a nice rejection off the 5-minute ORB. Again, after the last one, we had a good rejection here. It looked like we were turning down, and we instantly got popped up there. It was a little difficult to trust the short, and there was some buyers, but it does look like we should have taken the short. Big old push up on VIX.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm taking the risk on a short here. VX and VIX are popping. We lost our buyers. We had a major rejection off 5-minute ORB. I like the downside. I do think we could get down to 25,182 area actually. Just need to see this thing flush. ES broke, obviously is way breaking lower than NQ. ES is breaking way lower than NQ, but I'm looking for NQ to follow through with it. We got data in 2 minutes. I would like to be out of this position. See if I can grab like 20 points here right before data, and try to get out of this position if I can. Got about a minute here. I don't really want to get touched out. We had 20 points. Again, want to see some downside here. I think this is going to see a bigger flush, so I'm trying to stay in it without getting stopped out, which might mean I might take my 20-point loss, which is, not ideal, but it's okay if it happens. It's very, very wicky, though. Looks like they're going to come up and get our stop loss now, unfortunately. Maybe not. Very good. Well, looks like we're going to have to ride this one out through the data. Hopefully it pushes us lower.
Stop filled.
It did not. Well, it did push lower, but unfortunately, it hit our stop loss. Unfortunately. is what it is, though. Yeah, I was afraid that they might come wick us out. That's why I wanted to be out before data. But again, you know, not much I can do when we're already red. Wasn't worth closing it. But we should, again, see some continuation lower here. Considering getting back in, but being careful. Good, I'm glad you caught that, Al Boogie.
Order submitted.
I went short, not everybody got in. Looks like maybe just a handful. Hopefully it'll come pop back up.
Order filled.
Yeah, maybe not that far though.
Stop filled.
Man, stop loss after stop loss today, jeez.
Stop filled.
Dang, what a bounce. This is interesting. This is weird movement. Yeah, VX and VIX, again, I mean, they're in the uptrend here, but, you know, they're just completely ignoring, or being completely ignored pretty much by NQ. This was a big pop right here, too. This just got ate right up. Now we have a big rejection on VX and VIX. Interesting. Well, it looks like now we're going for the breakout. So our level to watch here would be 25,320. That's the 5-minute ORB. If we can close over that, that should bring some sort of breakout. Okay, we got 30 seconds to close here. Again, watching 25,320. Buyers stepped right back in. VX and VIX are pushing lower now, so this could be a big pop. They might start buying this up here now. Again, if we look at the daily, there is those EMA supports that we are bouncing off of after hours. And again, with data now, we might, again, you know, not 8:30 data wasn't that bad either. We might see them start buying this here. So we closed directly at 5-minute ORB here. Kind of a tough spot, but we'll see. Buyers are looking decent. See if they push this up here or not. I mean, this one's real 50-50. This is either going to get a big bounce and we're going to rip straight to 25,420, or they're going to pop the VIX and this is going to get straight dumped down. Yeah, it looks like they're going for the pop. That was a nasty reversal that they our bear trap there. I mean they had that was set up nice. That, like I said, right there at the ORB resistance. I mean, that sets it up where it looks like it's gonna hard reject and just dump, but boom, they just, I mean, instantly. That was a 30-point instant candle. So oof. VX and VIX. VIX is now hitting the lows here, so this should be clear sailing now. It looks like. Just a matter of where do you want to get in so you don't get stopped out. All right, let's try it. Probably going to get stopped out here. Hopefully not, but yep, geez. Just cannot get a good entry. Every time I get in, it's just instant reverse. Well, my Tradify, thankfully, are at daily loss limit here, so just trading my Lucid and my funded futures. We're getting pretty red on the drawdown here. Hopefully we can recover this here, but it is looking a little rough. Man, they're bringing this all the way back down. Crazy. Well, I'm down to about $300 of drawdown here, unfortunately. So, definitely need a good play here. So, it's tough. You know, again, we're breaking out over the 5-minute ORB here, so you would think with VX and VIX dumping that would bring further upside, but we're putting a long wick to the upside here, so that, again, brings downside. This is ugly. That's the best way to describe it, is just pure ugly. If they close this back under 320, this should be a big short opportunity. But, I mean, it's tough when you have, I mean, these candles are moving 10 to 20 points in a second. So we did close over 5-minute ORB. Instant push up, as you can see too. So again, it's tough because you have the wick to the upside, which would suggest a reversal back down, but the candle closed over 5-minute ORB, and we have buyers, and VX and VIX are dropping lower, so you would think push to the upside. So again, this is just really nasty kind of movement here. Okay, we got about 3 minutes to close here. Just kind of watch and see where we close. See what the next candle sets it up for us here, on whether it's going to be upside or downside. So remember, 25,401 to 25,420, that was kind of that upside level I was looking for in a possible breakout. And again, you know, we're seeing buyers, so it looks pretty good. This is actually where, at least on NQ, where pre-market data rejected us. So this is a big level area to watch. VX and VIX are pushing down. We have aggressive 5-minute buyers now. We're over 5-minute ORB. So a lot of favor does go to the upside here right now. I'm not really seeing a short case. Truly, the only thing preventing me from potentially taking a long is just the fact that we have a new candle coming in 2 minutes. They could sell this right back down to the 8 EMA, which will be near that 20 level, and then push it up. So there's just not a good setup, especially with very little drawdown left in my accounts. Okay, we got new candle coming in 30 seconds here. Data also coming. It's not very crazy data, but definitely data. So I wouldn't mind, assumingly that VX and VIX continue lower, I wouldn't mind a rejection back down to that 320, maybe 340 area to then take along for a bigger breakout, potentially all the way up to that 506 area. But again, we got to be careful because this is very much so volatile and very much so just irrational. So yeah, really right here, about 350 would be a good back test. We broke 5-minute ORB now on ES and NQ. We also have 15-minute ORB support broken. VIX is through its support. So yeah, really 6871 on ES and 25,350 area on NQ would be a good potential bounce long spot. We have stronger buyers. We have aggressive buyers now. So yeah, upside looks good. We might not get the back test, just so we know. This might just straight pop, but I need to wait for the back test because I don't have a lot of drawdown to be aggressive right now. Okay, so here's the rejection. There's the back test. Now we have to hold 350. If we break through 350, well, then who knows? Well, now we're starting to break through. Now we could go back down to 320, it looks like. Man. Just ugly, you know, it's just, there's no good, I mean, again, that was A plus. You know, we have stronger buyers, we have aggressive buyers, we have VX and VIX pushing down, we have a breakout over ORB on 5 and 15-minute time frame. We are in an uptrend. I mean, geez, it's crazy sometimes how perfect the setup can be, but they just reverse it. Okay, here's 320. This is pretty much last stand. Now again, if bulls can defend 320 on the 5-minute, if they can close over 320 and double bottom this 5-minute, then they're going to save it. But man, it's looking heavy. There's the bounce. So that's a good wick here. But again, hard to ignore the fact that VX and VIX are pushing up pretty hard here. Okay, so there's the 5-minute bounce. So that's a good bounce. We're going to probably go right back down to 320. And then from there, that's our opportunity to see if we're going to push lower or not. Buyers are breaking here. So this actually sets up. It's not quite right, though, because of the wick. If there wasn't this long wick, if you look over at the Ninja chart, if there wasn't this long wick right here, this would be a good rejection, and then boom, big drop to the downside. But I like the upside, but there's really no buyers, so... Okay, we're going to take a risk, and we're going short.
Order filled. Order filled.
Well, a couple will get stopped out there at max loss limit. See if we can keep pushing here. Got a couple still open.
Order filled.
Nope. Unfortunately not.
Stop filled.
Well, unfortunately, folks, that's all she wrote on those. It's tough. Tough day of price action. I mean, Some days you win, some days you lose them all. So again, the reason I took that short, if you look at the 5-minute chart over here, right here, you know, we had the double top projection, and yeah, we did bounce, and there is a potential we could have bounced higher, and we are now, of course. And you look at this nasty, ugly wick right here. But again, there was a setup where we could have rejected, and both ES and NQ were set up where we could have retraced the move. And you don't see my VX and VIX chart, but at the moment, they were also pushing up, which again, with buyers weakening, we're more or less showing a short opportunity. So it is what it is, unfortunately. Daily loss limit on my Tradify accounts, and then Lucid and My Fun and Futures unfortunately did hit max loss limit. So I don't know if I'm gonna start more evals or if I might just work on my Tradify. I haven't really decided, but certainly not the way I want in the morning to go. But it is what it is. So, all right, guys, I will see you later.